Hi everybody, I'm George Roberts, news director here at News 13. And you know, the past few weeks have been very different for everybody, kind of unprecedented times, and we're living under a new normal. And the way we do the news is a little different. But what we thought we'd do today is we would allow our on-air staff to turn the cameras on themselves and show us how things have changed for them. Let's take a look.
Hi everyone, it's Alyssa and I'm here at home. It's the weekend, so my two-day break that I get from being out and reporting. And of course, we're working super hard to bring all of our viewers the most important and most up-to-date information about the coronavirus pandemic. But I just wanted to take a few minutes just to share how, obviously this is something that is affecting everyone's life, including all of ours. And so I wanted to take a few minutes to share just something that I'm doing right now that's a little bit out of the ordinary, I would say, that I'm doing because of what's happening. And what I'm talking about is that I'm sitting here and I'm actually writing cards for my friends that I'm going to send the old-fashioned way through snail mail. And I'm 25 years old, so obviously that's pretty abnormal for me. Usually I like to keep in touch with my friends, and I have a lot of friends from both college and high school that are all spread out here in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Virginia, Maryland, South Carolina, so all over. And I do my best to keep in touch with as many of them as possible on a pretty daily basis. But with a lot of my friends, they are home right now, of course, in quarantine, working remotely because they're able to, unlike me, who I'm obviously still going to work every day. But I thought that this would be kind of a cool, creative way to brighten up their days and brighten up their quarantines by sending them little cards, just saying hello. And I think that it's also kind of cool because it's something tangible that they can use to remember this historical challenge that we're all going to get through. And I think that that's really important. And I think that this is going to be something that years down the road, we're going to look back on and say, wow, like we lived through that. And so I think these cards are a cool way, if they decide to save them, for them to be able to do that. And I just think that it's really important for everyone to know that it is something that we are all going to get through, as long as we're all continuing to do our part and stay home when we don't have to be out, and when we do have to go to the store for groceries or other essential errands, that we wear our masks. I have mine that one of my friend's moms actually sewed for me, and I'm going to be wearing this when I'm out reporting too, but wearing gloves, washing our hands, sanitizing, cleaning services, doing all of the necessary things that we have to be doing to help flatten this curve and get this over with as soon as possible. So for everyone who's watching, stay safe, stay healthy, and just know that we're going to get through this and it's going to be okay. And yeah, so that's it.
Well, we're once again talking life in the quarantine and adjusting to life in the quarantine. So obviously many of you know that all of the restaurants are pretty much closed. There's a couple places open, but there's really not much. You're very limited on where you can go eat. Now, luckily for me, I grew up in an Italian family, and from an early age, I was taught how to cook. And cooking was something that was instilled from day one. So I can cook like a pro. So this hasn't been too difficult for me. And if you want to see right now, I got a little bit of fresh parsley going right here. And one thing you want to do, always use fresh ingredients. Fresh parsley is one of the nicest things you can use because it really gives anything a good taste. I'm about to make a little bit of a fettuccine alfredo, fettuccine chicken alfredo. So I'm going to chop some parsley and get some eggs, some Parmesan cheese, do a little butter, cream, and the chicken. As you can see, I already did the chicken, so the chicken's already cut, cooked, packed, and ready to go. So that's always good. And the number one thing you always need when you cook is a little bit of wine. Now, it's either for drinking or for using for flavor, but wine is always one of the best ingredients you could have with you. It makes everything taste good, and obviously, when you're living life in the quarantine and you're trapped at home, sometimes it might be the only thing that gives you a little peace of mind and can save your sanity.
Hey everyone, it's Nicole Walters. So since this outbreak, I've been doing everything differently. But something that hasn't been really talked about on the news is what to do if you get a package at your home. We've been receiving a lot of these because Ryla had to cancel her birthday party. So this I know is a present from my friend Tiffany. She just called me. So what I do first is I take a knife and I open it up so that you can easily put this knife in the dishwasher right away. And then something important to remember is that things in here, like these super cute Easter eggs, have packaging around them. So immediately I remove all the packaging that I can. I put it in a basket or something else that you have around your house. And this is more packaging. We have really super cute clothing. Love it. And let's see what this is. Oh, look at how fun! A cottage tent cover. Okay, so definitely want to remove this too. Get it out of the box. So. And there you go. That's everything that's in this box. So that we're done. And now what I want to do is I always have my hand sanitizer out here with me. So I get that potential germs off of my hands, because you just never know who may have sneezed on this box, who may have touched it, or where it could have come into contact with anything. Before this outbreak, I never would have thought twice about bringing a box inside my home, opening it up with Ryla, but now it's better to be safe than sorry. All right, guys, thanks.
So this weekend we were asked to make a video about something that is different in our weekend routines, weekend activity life that's impacted during this health crisis. And for me, one of the things that is a little different and a complete non-essential is going to the nail salon. So this weekend I decided to become my own nail technician and take off my professionally done nails all by myself. So it's not as easy as just taking some nail polish remover and wiping them down and you're all done. It's quite the process. So here's a look at how I did it. That was definitely the sped up version of the process. Overall, it took me over an hour to get everything off and reshaped. So not bad for, nothing else to do during the day. So then after that, I went and I painted my nails. And this light purple color was the only color we had at the house here for nail polish. So works out, light purple is perfect for spring. So that's how I spent my weekend. Stay home, stay safe, stay healthy. Thanks for watching.
What's going on? What's going on? Checking in. Okay, so ever since non-essential businesses kind of closed down. We've been doing things a lot differently. She's playing a lot of video games. Even the cat's here with us, practicing social distancing. But, you know, cats are antisocial anyway, so they kind of were always social distancing. But yeah, so been playing a lot of this thing right here, you know, because there's no movie theaters to go to. I used to like to go to the movies a lot. No more movie theater. No more restaurants. Ordering a lot of takeout because we can't eat in. What else? No more mall. We used to go to the mall a lot and walk around and, you know, just like shop and people watch and stuff like that.
People watch for sure.
So a lot of things have changed ever since non-essential businesses closed. It's kind of interesting getting used to this new normal, but I think we can all get through this if we find hobbies and kind of things to keep us entertained, if you will. You know, if we're working out at the house, if we're watching TV, find movies to watch, learn new skills. We've been doing a lot of recording and learning some new things. So, I mean, you just have to keep moving, really. And if you do go outside, there's nice parks and things to walk around at, and nice trails that you can hike. I mean, you can practice social distancing there because there's not really many people out on the trails and doing things. There's, you know, not really many interactions that you will have out there. So, I have been personally sitting around playing video games. Oh, the cat wants to be a part. What? Hey, Maxie. Hey, a word for the camera.
Maxie.
A word for the camera. No.
Over here.
No. No words. No words.
She's looking at me.
Don't look at her. Look at the camera.
Over there.
Hello. Hey, there she is. Social distancing. The cat doesn't really like me that much. Was it my cat? Was it my choice? No, I'm just kidding. I love the cat. But yeah. So everybody stay safe out there.
So what are we doing different around here? Well, not a whole lot. This kind of work has to be done every year anyway. However, we'd rather be doing this. So, while my daughter Maddie is way over there scrubbing away on the deck, I'm way over here cutting down some grasses. All right, only about 20 more loads to go. Gonna run out of places to dump this stuff. One thing that's definitely different is we certainly have more time to stop and smell the flowers. And the daffodils are everywhere. And the view from my front porch. No need to wear a mask out here. Lots of fresh air.
Welcome everybody to our garden. George and Connie here. We are doing something a little different this year. We've really decided to up the garden because, you know, it's always good to have fresh vegetables and, you know, grow them yourself.
I love it when they're outside. We just pick our own.
Yeah, but I think this year, like with everything that's going on, we decided to really ramp it up a little bit.
Absolutely.
Right. So we found this is kind of cool. This here happens to be made of recyclable material, and it's a sort of a plastic that's never going to degrade, which I think is make it a little bit better than having wood in here. So we're gonna make these raised beds. So I'm gonna build a few of these out of the recyclable material, and let's get this garden started.
It'll be fun.
He's digging for something. All right, so we have this bed complete, and we're going to keep putting some Miracle Grow garden soil in here, mix it with the soil that is already here. Hopefully it'll give us something nice to grow in. Connie, every year when we grow a garden, we just usually put it in this area here, but this year we decided to do something a little different with these raised beds. And that is, we're gonna do something called square gardening. Have you heard about square gardening?
I am.
All right, so we're gonna divide this 4 foot by 4 foot area into squares. The idea is to have a higher yield because in each square, you put a recommended amount of seeds or plants, and it's supposed to give you more. per square foot than you would in a normal garden. So we want a higher yield this year. We want to see if we can grow more vegetables this year. And I see the dog really likes gardening too.
He loves hanging with us.
So basically we're going to take these, we have some bamboo rods, and we're going to use these. You can use wood slats or whatever. And you find out where the middle is here, and you put your first one down right in the middle. And you find your other foot areas. And it just gives you an idea, a basic grid. So we did it this way, we're gonna have to do it this way next.
Okay.
Right? Another one there?
Cooper, hey, stop. That's my gloves.
You want your glove?
Yeah. I think they're a toy.
Quite a puppy.
At least he's entertaining us while we're out here.
Yeah, he's quite entertaining, all right. This is daily existence with Cooper. This is what he does all the time. Play, play, play.
Oh boy.
So there we go. We have our basic squares.
Well, this is great because when you plant like this, it's less weeds that can actually grow in them. So
Well, you'll have to weed it, but
yeah, but it won't be as much.
yeah. So we got the fence up. We don't want any critters in here, so we thought we'd do that before we start planting. Now the idea of these squares, Connie, if people at home, if you don't know, is that there's so many different plants per square, or so many seeds per square. So you have to look that up. And we're gonna do some garlic, and we also have some onions. And so you go 4 per square with these guys. And basically, you know, you make like a diamond shape and you put them in the ground. And do the same with the onions. Now we're not gonna do the onions in the same square.
Where do you want to put them?
Let's do them, we can do them in this square here. All right. The onions are the same deal. You have to know which end is up on the onion. And so we've got four holes for these two. And we'll put them in. And so we'll get some garlic, some onions growing. Maybe we'll try some spinach. We'll get those in the ground too. And our whole idea was that, you know, this year we'd become a little more self-reliant with the vegetables and try to do more vegetables and get bigger harvest. And this time of year, of course, it's good for only certain things you can put in the ground. The other stuff we have inside, right?
Absolutely.
So tomatoes are going inside, broccoli's going inside, and then another month or so we'll put them out.
Yeah, it'll be exciting to get them in the ground too.
Yeah, so I hope you give it a try too at home and get your garden going too. All right, let's get these all.
This pandemic is affecting me on 2 fronts, and the big one, and I'm sure many of you can relate to this, having your own family and worrying about them and maintaining their safety, at the same time having elderly parents and worrying about their safety. My mother, she turned 80 and I check up on her twice a day. I give her a phone call. She is an hour and a half away, and it bothers me so much that I just can't go and visit her and go into her home because I'm afraid of getting her infected. So that's my big thing. Now the second thing, I want to end this on a lighter note here. You guys know I love food, right? And I am home, working from home. That means I have easy access to a refrigerator with all the food in it, and I do not have easy access to a gym. So I'm trying to find fun ways and be creative with workouts at home, but it's not as much fun. So, yeah.
We're talking a little bit about adjusting to life in the quarantine. How has our life changed? Well, I think my life, just like everyone else in this country and pretty much in this world, life has been changing dramatically because of this global health crisis that we're in. When you think about it, it's insanity because we are going through something that our grandparents didn't go through, our parents have never went through. We are living through a plague. None of us probably ever imagine something like this happening. We all probably watch shows like The Walking Dead and seen movies like Outbreak and Contagion, but never thought it would happen here. But it's here, and it's not going away for a long time unless we make sure that we practice things like social distancing and staying at home. And while staying at home, we have to adapt a little differently. So one of the biggest changes for me was when they closed all the gyms. I am someone who has worked out his entire life, probably since I was 13 years old, and I've never stopped working out. So when the gyms all closed, that was a huge adjustment for me. So to give you an idea of how I had to change and adapt to this situation, I'm going to give you a little preview. What I had to do, first things first, was change my bedroom into a makeshift gym. So what I did, if you take a look, is I set up this cable machine. Now it's a cable machine, so it has cables on the top, and it also has cables on the bottom. Curl bars on the bottom, cables on the top. Then on top of that, I also, set up weights in the bedroom. I have weights and resistance bands and things like that, just because obviously you can't do the traditional workout that you used to, because we're all right now living through this COVID crisis, this COVID nightmare. We're all in it together. So that was one of the more complex things to change for me, and one of the hardest adjustments for me personally, because as someone who's so used to going to the gym right after work, this is a lot different. I'm coming directly home and right to the bedroom. The one nice thing is, though, I'm pretty much in my bedroom as soon as I get home and just working out. So while it hasn't been easy, the adjustment has obviously been difficult. It's just one way we have to cope. We're all coping with COVID, and we're all doing it different ways. But the gym was one of the toughest things I had to adjust to, and this is what I'm trying to get used to now, a new normal, by staying at home, practicing social distancing, and just like you, trying to get through this in one piece together.
Obviously, you've seen on our newscast, professionally it's affected us. We are, practicing social distancing, interviewing people from 6 to 10 feet away, or even not in person at all. And I'm sure you've seen a lot of video chats and FaceTime calls and Facebook Messenger interviews. But for me personally, it's affected my life a couple different ways. The biggest of which, my girlfriend and I of about a year and a half just moved out 2 weeks ago. And although it might have seemed like a bad time, we wanted to move out. We wanted to keep our parents safe in case we would have given it to them or they given it to us, vice versa. So the biggest difficulty was we're not going to be getting furniture anytime soon. We bought furniture from Ashley about 2 days before the governor released the non-life sustaining business list. And to be honest, we don't know if it's ever, we don't know when it's going to come. So we're sitting on lawn chairs and a desk chair. More comfortable than you think, so don't feel bad for us. We're doing all right. And one of the things, we're grateful that we had a lot of things to move in. We basically had everything for the kitchen. But we didn't have a moving crew because we didn't know who has it or who may have given it to who, especially because you don't know, the symptoms don't come out right away. So me and my girlfriend, who, is very small, had to move a king-size mattress up 3 flights of stairs, and that only made our love stronger. It was heavy as all heck, and we managed to do it somehow, some way, without no straps or anything. I really don't know how we did it, but we did. And basically, we're taking quarantining very seriously. I went and bought a TV, an Xbox. We have our internet and cable set up. We have all the streaming services. We're watching a lot of shows, a lot of movies. We basically have a list of shows we want to watch. And just to kind of keep us sane, we do have a dog. So we take him on walks probably 2-3 times a day. And we do a couple laps around our neighborhood. And, it's just a little way of just getting out, getting some fresh air without, having to go anywhere. We went for a hike. Nothing too serious. A very first world problem I'm having, and you've probably seen on TV, you probably think I need a haircut, and I do, because the salon that we go to has been closed. Obviously, they're part of the non-life sustaining businesses. So if I look a little bushwhacked, forgive me. I'm gonna be teaching my girlfriend how to cut my hair, doing what I can. So basically, just for me personally, it's just kind of been a little bit of a whirlwind, because as if moving in and getting settled and comfortable somewhere isn't stressful enough, we did it in the midst of a global pandemic. We're doing way better than maybe other people would have or are doing, but we're doing the best we can. We understand how serious it is, and we're sanitizing everything. Every time we open our door, we spray the door. First thing we do when we come in, we take our shoes off and we wash our hands. We sanitize the bottom of our shoes, because who knows if it's something we can walk in. There's a lot more questions than answers out there. So we're just doing everything we can to stay safe. Other than social distancing, we're doing all of the sanitation efforts as well. And we encourage people to do the same, because although someone like me might not be very well affected by symptoms, my fear is that I could give it to someone else, and they could even potentially go on a ventilator and, in a worst case scenario, pass away. So we are taking things very seriously, and we're just waiting it out. We did one big grocery store, so we don't have to go shopping. We don't really have to go out in public, except for when we drive for work. Her and I both do work. We are technically essential employees, so we haven't been furloughed or anything. So it's been a lot. We're still going to work. We're dealing with all these changes. Her job has changed with her guidelines. Obviously mine. I don't even go into the station anymore. I work completely remotely from, from a truck, from my Jeep, and we're moving in, and we don't have a couch. So it's all pretty crazy. But everyone, please stay safe, be safe, and practice the guidelines, social distancing, and wash your hands. Thanks.
According to the CDC's website, this is the protocol you should be taking when you come home from work to keep your loved ones safe from COVID-19. And Chief Videographer Tom McIntyre takes these steps every time he enters his house. First, take off your shoes outside and spray them on the top and bottom with alcohol. Also, spray down all other belongings you plan on bringing inside, including your phone and keys. Throw out any papers or receipts.
Hey, what's happening, honey? I'm home.
Next, take your clothes off. And immediately put them in the washer. Nope, it's not time to sit down yet, and you better not touch anything. Instead, immediately go into the bathroom, shower, and brush your teeth. Now that you've scrubbed yourself of all the possible germs, you can finally interact with your loved ones.
Hi, sweetheart. How's your day?
Really clean.
Well, I hope you enjoyed our little special here, and don't forget to keep watching News 13 as we continue to keep you up to date on everything that's happening in your backyard. We'll see you next time.